Hello, my name is Eddie Sheets, and I'm going to do a musculoskeletal and neurological assessment today. This is my helper, is Jacoby. First thing we do is we would come into the room, we gather all of our supplies, we make sure that we provided privacy. When I'm doing an assessment with the neurological part of it, I always ask them, we always do identifiers, but can you tell me your name?
Jacoby Sheets.
And your date of birth?
08/01/2000.
And when I see him walk into the room, I kind of watch his gait, look at those kind of things, look for symmetry when he's talking, connecting with me eye-wise, that type of stuff. So kind of make sure he's alert, oriented, and can you tell me where you're at today?
My house.
Okay. So, he knows where he's at. So we're good with that. The first thing I do, we kind of start with the musculoskeletal, and we always do the visualization and the palpation. We're going to work from the hands kind of on up. So I'd be looking at the hands, looking for symmetry, looking for any inflammation, any joint issues, anything like that. Both hands go back up, work up to the elbows and the shoulders. Any pain, tenderness when I palpate. We'd be looking for signs of like rheumatoid arthritis, that kind of stuff, any deformities, anything like that. So his looks good. We could start on his hands. They do a couple of carpal tunnel tests. You can take and palpate the nerve over here and press down on it, see if there's any numbness, that type thing. You can also, if you put your hands together like this and hold it for about 30 seconds. And you're looking to make sure that's pushed. You push together about 30 seconds if he has any pain. You can also do the opposite direction. So take your fingers, I want you to flex them forward like this and back like this. Okay. Take your fingers out, all of them, and then back in. Very good. I'm going to have you spread your fingers back out again for me against resistance, and then I'm going to have you do it against resistance on the end. So we're checking strength there. I'm going to have you do grip. Go ahead and squeeze my fingers. We're looking for equal grip strength on both sides. Make sure there's nothing that is, one is lighter, there's any deficits or anything that we need to be worried about there. So the next we're going to go up to the wrist. I'm going to have you flex forward, flex back, and go out and in. Okay. Then you can do the same with the wrist, have him just kind of go up against pressure, up, down, out with your wrist, in. Okay. So that looks good, and we went over the carpal tunnel. Then you come up to the elbows, you want to palpate the point of the elbow, look for any pain there. On the inside here, where the bicep connects, you want to make sure that there's no tenderness, no inflammation, anything like that. Go ahead and have him flex up, flex out, and extend. Okay. In both arms, you don't see anything there. So we move on up to the shoulder. We're inspecting again for any inflammation, anything like that. You can kind of palpate, have him roll his shoulder, and you can feel the different points. It should be a smooth roll. There shouldn't be any catches or anything like that. Both sides, no tenderness, anything like that. Go ahead and put your arms straight out like this and very slowly let them down. Okay. At that point, I'd move on up to the neck. I would look for symmetry of the muscles in the front, make sure the trachea is midline, check back here, have him flex forward, extend backwards. I'm going to have you turn your head to the left, to the right. Okay. I'm going to have you put your ear to your shoulder, other side. So that looks good, and then at that point I would come to the back and I would kind of palpate around his spine, starting about his C7 at the point. And I'm gonna have him stand up for this. I'm gonna have you stand right here.
Towards you.
Just kind of face this way. You want to inspect, you're looking for your straight line. Make sure you don't have any curvature there. You're also paying attention to your iliac crest to make sure that they're in the same distance here. You go down the spine, just walk down the column. You're feeling for a drop off. Make sure there's no vertebrae that one's out and one's in. Any pressure, tenderness, anything like that. You want to make sure he's got the natural curvature of the S shape, which he does. Then you can have them kind of bend forward, lean forward. And then you can step back and you can look to, there's your straight line again. You can palpate with your hands and make sure you're level with your iliac crest. If one of these is higher than the other, it could be an indication of a limb that is longer than the other. So at this point, I would have him take a few steps towards, I'm gonna have you walk towards the camera, just normal gait, and then come back this way. Then I'm gonna have you go from toe to heel. Okay. Then I'm gonna have you do a bend your knees, feet together, straight back. Good. Any pain there? Then at this point, we want to do what we call the Romberg test. So I'm going to have you stand facing the camera, and you want to stay close to the patient. If they have a deficit or a lesion or something, when their eyes are open, they can be compensating for that and have their equilibrium. But when you have them stand and close their eyes, when you close their eyes, if that connection is not there because of a lesion or something, they can lose their balance. I'm going to have you close your eyes, and then you just kind of tug on them a little bit, and they should be able to bounce back. But once again, you want to stay close to that to make sure that, you know, that if they do have an issue, you don't want them to fall. So, okay, at that point, I'm going to go ahead and have you come back over to the table. Oh, one more thing while we're here. I'm going to have you stand up again. You need to check the range of motion of your spine. I'm going to have you take and twist to your right about 30 degrees and to your left about 30 degrees. I'm going to have you go like this and to the other side, and then flex, extension. Okay, very good, thank you. Go ahead and have another seat. So at this point, I would have them lay down on the bed or gurney. So I'm going to have you lay back. We're using kitchen table. I'm going to have you turn sideways so you're lengthy here with me. We're going to check the legs, the hips. We're looking through here. If he had hip issues, we'd probably visually inspect. He doesn't. So we're just going to palpate. You can have him turn to the side. I'm going to have you turn to your right side and just stay close to me here. Hey, this way on your right side.
How do you want me to do this?
Lay on your right side.
Like this?
You can do that. Yep. And you can palpate down. Be careful with the sciatic nerve there, that type thing. You can have them at this point do. I'm going to have you take your leg out in front of you, just straight out, and back behind you. Any pain with that?
No.
You'd have them do both sides. You can also have them do this on their stomach too, and flat on their back. So then I'm going to have you sit back up to the side of the table. We move on down to the knees. You're looking for, you're going to visualize, you're looking for symmetry, you're looking for any abnormalities, you're looking for your hair distribution, you're looking for varicose veins, that type thing. You want to, at that point, start at your knee, and you can, after your visual inspection, and make sure there's no inflammation or redness, you want to palpate both legs, and then you want to extend or abduction out adduction in towards midline. You're looking for any rigidness, any pain, any contracture, that type of stuff. We would do that on both legs. Then you would come on down to the feet. You would have them with the ankles. You would have them, you do your inspection once again. Have them down. And then inversion, so turn your foot in. Exversion. You can hold pressure towards that, have them push down, up, out, other way. And then on the leg, the same thing. So pull your leg in towards you, push it out towards me this way. Follow my hand this way, and we would do that both sides. So at that point, the musculoskeletal side of it is pretty good. You go through your cranial nerves. We've done some of the inspection or assessment and some of our other assessments that we videoed, so we're going to kind of bypass those because we know he's alert and oriented, but we would check, you know, for Perla, make sure his eyes are equal, reactive, and compensating to the light. We can do a sensory for the smell test, have them smell different things. I'm going to have you smile, okay, and I'm going to have you stick out your tongue, and you're looking for any droop, anything like that. Have them grit down on their teeth, grit, bear down, and then open. All right. At this point, we're going to do some other tests. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to have, I'm going to take this Q-tip, I've got a soft end and I've got a sharp end. I'm going to touch different places on your body. You're going to tell me if it's the left or the right side, if it's soft or sharp, okay? So go ahead and close your eyes.
Right soft, left sharp, right sharp, left sharp, right soft, right sharp, soft, left soft.
Okay. So there's his sensory. The next thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take your hands and put on your legs like this, and when you come up, I want you to put palms up, back down.
So just like that.
So as fast as you can. Okay. Then I'm going to have you take and touch my finger and then back to your nose.
Just touch it.
And back to your nose.